back to our third series of UKM JSB Business Talk. As our previous series, we will bring to you a few great companies to share with us their success stories, especially their financial update. For today with us in the studio, we have Puan Azimah Adnan, General Manager of NTPM Sdn Bhd, and Puan Masita Mano, Finance Manager of NTPM Sdn Bhd. Wow, I am so honoured to interview these two iron ladies of NTPM. Thank you very much, Puan, for your time to be with us today. Before we start, I'm sure you guys will eager to know what is NTPM, what kind of NTPM business they did, and then let's check it out, this VT.
Responsibility for the environment is one of the highest goals that any manufacturing company can aspire to. It is critical that we provide a safe, clean and healthy environment for future generations. Introducing NTPM Holdings Berhad, a world-class paper products manufacturer and true market leader in the manufacturing, trading and distribution of tissue and personal care products. NTPM's unique and diverse range has consistently fulfilled the needs and expectations of customers with products distributed both locally and exported worldwide. NTPM was listed on the main board of the KLSE in 2003 and represents one of the top performing companies with operating profit and revenue rising steadily over the past decade.
Welcome back to our studio. Let's start with Puan Azimah, our first question. We know that NTPM is well known and well established company in Malaysia. As we are approaching 2020, what can you say about NTPM's progress in 2019?
First of all, thank you very much Naima for having us here today. It's a great honor to be here in this talk show. So basically I can say that 2019 is a quite difficult year for NTPM. We face a few challenges, include the ever-increasing challenging landscape, price erosion pressure due to a lukewarm Malaysian economy, higher material input costs and also unfavorable weakening of Malaysian ringgit against the USD. However, despite all the challenges, we are still able to improve our revenue by increasing by 5.3% to Ringgit Malaysia 728 million this year, as compared to roughly about 690 million for 2018.
I see, that's good, Puan. Okay, as you said, that this year is the challenging year for NTPM. Can you share with us where is the risk coming from? Is it from market, firm, industry, international, or does this risk profile change from year to year?
So I can say that even under the best of circumstances, raw materials is really a big headache for every manufacturer. So with another recessions looming and a global trade war growing more intense, volatile raw material prices has posed distinct challenges throughout the past 5 years and promise to do so into a possible future. So I can see here that the key factor that affects our performance of tissue product especially include the higher price cost of raw materials such as the virgin pulp and waste paper. So the price of pulp and waste paper has surged and increased about 50% since 2016.
Okay, thank you, Puan Azimah. I will go to Puan Masita. If you don't mind to share with us, what is the cost of equity and what's the firm's WACC?
Yes, of course. We don't mind of sharing of the benefit of the industry. Okay, our cost of equity is total liabilities as at 30 April 2019 grew 36%, more than 470 million as compared to 350 million as at 30 April 2018. The increase of total liabilities is mainly due to the increase of loan and borrowings. However, the group's balance sheet remained healthy with shareholders' equity amounting to 453 million. Our NTPM's earnings are well supported by the robust demand for its paper products, while being supplemented in the longer run by its Vietnam expansion, maintain neutral with share price of 98 cents from last year, which is 94 cents, and WACC is about 6.5%. In the meantime, rising cost pressures and stiff competition in the personal care segment remain key risks.
Okay, Puan Azima, can you share, is there any project for this firm?
Yes, okay. For NTPM, we have our project in this sector, which is the Environmental Management System, or we call it as EMS of NTPM. So which we initiate this project since 2007 and continue to serve us well in this sector. The EMS departments in NTPM also tracks and tests the environmental performance of NTPM in addition to energy conservation program to ensure that the effect of our activities with regard to the environment is negligible. NTPM also meets all the parameters set out in its environmental reporting requirements throughout the reporting period, including air quality monitoring, emission measurements, water effluent discharge, and scheduling waste disposals. As part of these procedures, NTPM historical waste discharge, air pollution, and measurement methodology is also audited by various independent third parties to ensure that our emissions or discharge is fully comply with domestic reporting and international accreditation, as well as government regulations. And with regards to our long-term and short-term plan, it is necessary for us in NTPM to invest in the company in the long term that affect our profitability. While with regard to investment needs, the company needs to collect more funds from our potential investor, and cash flow would improve more with the increase in assets compared to our liability.
Thank you, Puan Azima. We will have a short break. Stay tuned with us.
NTPM core values include leadership, integrity, passion, trust, and a sincere dedication and commitment to eco-friendly manufacturing. NTPM closely monitors its wastewater quality, air emission levels, the management of waste storage and disposal, and green energy generation. The reconstruction and upgrading of the wastewater treatment plant is prime example of NTPM's environmental consciousness and commitment towards sustainable development. NTPM is also fully committed to continuous improvement in fostering a clean, safe, and healthy working environment. NTPM philosophy of having a heart of learning, progressing, and serving ensures that it will always strive to celebrate the spirit of caring for its employees' welfare, its community, and environment.
Alright, let's continue, Puan Azima. We are interested to know what are the types of financing that NTPM used to raise the fund.
Thank you, Naima. For financing NTPM to raise the fund, we use a bank borrowing. So for your information, in 2019, NTPM Holding Berhad overall borrowing rose to roughly about 339 millions, as compared to last year is about 220 millions. It's mainly due to our investment in tissue machinery. So as a result, net gear ratio for this year, 2019, increased about 39% as compared to last year, about 27%. However, as at 30th April 2019, NTPM Holding Berhad held a very positive cash position of roughly about 45 million.
Okay, Puan. From your experience, what are the advantage and disadvantage for NTPM from using the bank borrowing?
Okay, I can share here there are few advantages and disadvantages from the bank borrowing, and among the advantages is first to maintain the company ownership, because a primary benefit of issuing bonds and borrowing money from lenders is that a company has a full ownership. This is not the case for equity financing because stockholders have a company ownership right. And a second advantage is tax deduction for interest paid. Okay, because the Internal Revenue Service consider the interest paid to be a business expenses in most situations and allow companies to subtract the cost from our corporate income tax. So this is good for us, for businesses, as it's allow us to save money, to invest and to grow in the future. And then another advantages for the bank borrowing, from the bank borrowing, is we have a greater freedom and also greater flexibility, because the equity financing, we are only binding on the borrower or lender for the repayment period. Okay, the business is completely free of its obligation, and after all, money is payback. Companies are also more flexible because the debt financing paperwork is less difficult and less costly than the equity financing. And then for the disadvantages from this bank borrowing, because the repayment of principal and also the interest, because the companies are obliged to pay back to the borrower the principal along with the interest. So businesses with a problem with cash flow may have a very hard time for repayment. So companies that fail to pay their debts on time will receive penalties. And another disadvantages is it will influence the credit rating. Okay, businesses with a much larger amount of debt than equity financing is known to be very risky. Okay, to attract investor, a company with a lower credit rating that typically issues bond will have to pay a higher interest rate. An organization that have to pay more in interest may have problem with a cash flow in the future. And the last disadvantages that I can share with you here is about the cash on hand requirements. Okay, because organization requiring debt financing must meet the cash requirements of the lender, which means that companies must have enough cash on hand. Based on the debt financing for cash infusion, this is complicated for businesses. Some firms may need to put up collateral to qualify them for financing, putting asset at a risk if they fail to repay the debt.
Okay, Puan Azima Pamasita, we will take a break for a while. And guys, stay tuned with us. Come back for final segment.
The NTPM Group was founded by Mr. Lee Si-jin in 1975. Mr. Lee Si-jin quickly realized the potential in producing paper products from recycled paper and started its commercial production in the paper rolls business by the end of 1979, with a production capacity of 5 tons per day. In 1981, NTPM began to produce tissue paper and toilet rolls, selling the products directly to the market. By 1983, NTPM recorded sales exceeding 10 million ringgit. Between the years 2000 and 2004, NTPM had successfully penetrated the market, diversing from tissue to personal care products, such as Premier, Royal Gold, Cutie Compact, Cutie Soft, Intimate, and Dypex. NTPM today boasts a production capacity of over 300 tons per day, or over 100 tons per annum, with more than 20 paper-making machines.
Okay, thank you for being with us. So for last segment, we also received one question from our official Twitter, Muhammad Afaki. He would like to know how has this firm returned cash to the stakeholders, and has NTPM paid dividend or has it bought back stock?
Okay, thank you for the questions from the Twitter. Okay, over the years, NTPM has successfully distributed our profit as dividend to our stakeholders. Okay, as for the current year, 2019, the board of director NTPMs have declared a single tier first interim dividend of 80 cents per ordinary share and final dividend of 80 cents for the final dividends, which bring a total dividends of RM1.60 in 2019 as compared to RM2.40 in 2018 per ordinary share. And however, as mentioned before, NTPM faced real challenge in 2019. While the group revenue has improved 5.3%, unfortunately, the net profits has slightly dropped in 2019 as compared to 2018. As a record, the total dividend of RM1.60, which was given this year, was also be given in 2016, but at that time the net profit was 57.7 million, which is higher than the net profit in 2019. But despite all the challenges, the group still committed in maintaining a consistent trend of dividend distribution to all of our stakeholders of NTPM, as we are really optimistic about our future prospect, because the global tissue market paper is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of close to 3.6% during the period of 2019 until 2027. So we also have well-established product offerings supported by our comprehensive distribution and as well as marketing channels. So we foresee that it will be continue to grow organically and in its existing market. So we can say that in the future year, we can still have a very healthy progress.
Okay, fine. Last but not least, we will have a final question from Masita. What action have been taken by NTPMs to sustain the company future?
The company made a wise decision 3 years ago, which was to embark on an expansion program, including investing 80 million in manufacturing facilities in Vietnam. This has led to the foundation for future growth by looking at the weak ringgit and the uncertainties in the market now. We believe it was a decision to grow our business then. And in the next 2 years, we will not be incurring any large capital expenditure. We will only be setting aside 20 million a year for the upkeep of our machinery. While pursuing growth, we also environmental conscious. At present, 70% of its raw materials are recyclable waste, and the remaining 30% using recyclable waste for our production help us to save on the cost of disposing of it. At the same time, we are doing our part in preserving the environment. In fact, we are exploring other uses for the waste.
Thank you, Puan Azima, Puan Masita, for the session today. A lot of info and thing about NTPM, and I'm sure for this 2020, NTPM will gain more profit, and might be after this show will attract more investor. So guys, stay tuned with us for next series, our 4th series, and wishing you Happy New Year, Happy 2020. Bye.
Thank you.